Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Fearless Floyd Show. As always, it's me, your host, Fearless Floyd, and today is Tuesday, December 3rd, 2024. And guess what, folks? 4 short weeks, 2024 will be over. So, what happens on January 1st, 2025? Well, if Iraq doesn't revalue their currency, I think they're going to burn Al Sadani in the public streets in effigy. Absolutely. I look forward to the next 4 weeks, not just for Christmas and New Year's, but action in Iraq. Now, what that looks like overall, who knows? Let me go ahead and address this. I've kind of alluded to it, and I'll get on to some other things here in a minute, but while it's on the top of my mind, there's going to be a lot of things, a lot of statements, appointments, etc., by the Trump administration, the incoming Trump administration. Some of it you're not going to like. Some of it you're never going to hear about because they can't put it in the public because that's basically, if they're playing 5D chess, who knows what they're doing? They may be playing checkers for all we know. But if they're playing something, on a highly intellectual level that you don't want to expose what your potential moves could be. So there's a lot of stuff that's going on in the background that we don't know about. Now, Donald Trump calling out the BRICS nations for potentially issuing their new BRICS currency, which we've already seen, I've shown, I had it on my show before, as well as posted in Telegram, that should that happen during Trump's administration, it would cripple the world's economy and it would look like Trump would be the fall guy. So that's what he's trying to prevent and avoid. And listen, folks, the United States has nothing against Russia. They were actually our allies in World War II. So once we conquered all the bad guys, they had to go create a bad guy. So who did they create? Russia. And that's when we had this big freaking Cold War, which is ridiculous. I encourage everybody to go watch Tucker Carlson's his videos, his interview with Putin, all about Russia, what Russia's really, really actually like once you get there and how different it is from the United States, especially with the food, the whole wokeism thing. Yeah, it's a big deal over there. So Trump called out BRICS and he told them, look, hey, this isn't the way you want to go. Now he's going to have to go back to the table with BRICS. Okay. In my own personal opinion, I actually put this in my phone the other day because I want to remind myself to talk about it. Let me go with my alarm. And, okay. BRICS, USA, World Currency Summit. Don't be surprised if that's being set up as we talk. So you will see a united USA via the Treasury. I don't know if they'll have representatives from the Federal Reserve or not, or if that'll go away. I just don't have that much information or intel to be able to give you an opinion on that. But in my opinion, regarding BRICS currency, BRICS digital token, whatever that is, whatever they want to call it, and then the Federal Reserve note, United States dollar, the world's reserve currency, the petrodollar, which clearly countries have taken themselves off the petrodollar. The There's a lot of sanctioning that, we really don't know about because the Biden administration has sanctioned these countries for, Venezuela, Russia, China, you name it. Okay. That's everybody's just like, man, we're done with all this bullshit. That's why Trump's coming out with the tariffs. He didn't want to sanction a country. He still wants to do business. He still has that arm extended. Hey, come on, let's do business. We can work out the differences later, but let's not stop commerce, because commerce makes this big thing going, keeps it going. So look for, I don't know if they're going to announce it, but there will be a BRICS USA summit with all those leaders regarding how they're going to move forward, if they want to go back to an asset-backed currency. And we all know what Trump has said. This is the golden age. So who knows? Had you invested in some crypto before, especially XRP, because that's what I tell everybody to invest in. November 4th, tomorrow, you would have 5 times your money, if not 6 times your money. So that was a good investment to get into. So the BRICS Summit, USA Summit, that's coming up. That's my opinion on that. Before I dive in, just make sure I do this. Oh, here's the New Testament. Sure, y'all know it's a real deal Bible. Oh, and by the way, they have these in prison, but they're usually brown. These pages actually make great rolling papers when you don't have any. So, yeah, I've done that before. I'm going to go to hell, right? Burn in hell. Anyway, I swear to tell truth, whole truth, nothing but truth. So help me God. There you go. In the books for that one. All right. I gave y'all an update yesterday. I posted a little post in YouTube. Grab it. Yes, somewhere. Have to forgive me. They were supposed to come remodel yesterday. Nobody called. Nobody showed up. Nobody texted me. So I sat here all day. I finally called them last night, and they're like, "Oh, we're waiting on the adjuster." Somebody could have told me. I work from home. So yesterday, I had a 4:00 appointment with the Texas Department of Public Safety. Yes, the DMV, as it's so fondly called. And as you know, or if you don't know, let me be the first to tell you. My dumbass, ignorantly, stupidly, surrendered my driver's license without really understanding the full concept of what I was doing or why I was doing it or what the outcome would be. So I did that. However, had I not done it, we would have never known that there's 2 sides. There's a public and a private. Absolutely. So what I did is I took a DL 174 form. That's a Texas driver's license 174 form from the DPS, and redid it, turned it into an affidavit, put it in all the place where, I could attach my driver's license, et cetera, et cetera. Boom, sent it all in, did a surrender. Well, Jesse came behind me. He wanted to do the same thing, so he did it. Then he was out, traveling amongst the LEOs out there in the world and got pulled over. Oh, you still have a driver's license? What? No. I surrendered it. No, you still have it. It's right here. I'm looking at it. So they wrote him a ticket. So he went to the DPS office up, I believe, in Fort Worth or Granbury, somewhere around there, somewhere in North Texas. And he went in and showed him the form. And the lady said, no, sir. You need to file this one. And she brought him over a DL 174. He's like, what? He's like, oh, there's 2 sides. Holy cow. So he filled that out. She signed off on it. Boom, that's a wrap. So we went to conduct some business in Austin, Texas, which is our state capital, where the Texas Secretary of State, everything's there. So we went up there to the Secretary of State's office, Department of Health and Human Services, to take care of some birth certificate and authentication stuff. We also went to the Travis County District Clerk's new building, new office, to go look at my archives. I wanted to show him some of the litigation while we were there, and go look at the building and see what the access looks like, because I often visit the Harris County District Clerk and County Clerk Annex here for their archival records. So while I was there, we went to the Texas Department of Public Safety headquarters, which is this huge compound. The buildings are actually numbered. There's so many buildings on this actual compound in downtown Austin. So I went to the DPS, walked in there, did my public surrender, talked to a supervisor, asked the supervisor, is there anything on my record? And I free and clear walk away. And they're like, yeah, well, unbeknownst to me, when I had 2 traffic tickets dismissed, when I beat them in court, one of them had a $10 fine. Well, the judge didn't tell me to go, hey, go take care of your fine. And I had no idea, because I looked at the first one and all I saw was dismissed in big black block letters. And I turned the other one and it said dismissed. And I was like, hell yeah. Why? Because when court, the docket was called, I'm a Tarvin, so I'm generally always last. So I'm always kicked back. A Adams, Bueller, no. But they called me first. Hit me with my 2 dismissals, and I was out the door. Didn't even read the whole thing. So unknown to me, I had this $10 pending fee. Things happened. I kept going back to DPS. I emailed them. I would call them. I say, what's going on with my DL here, man? Something's still hanging. And nobody ever told me about that $10 fee. So, all this bullshit was going on. So I went and went online to the DPS and went through the whole machinations of like trying to renew your license or something like that. It kicked back and said, oh, you got a $10 fee. I'm like, what? $10? Where the hell did that come from? So I went back and read all my shit, and boom, there it is. I found it on this dismissal. So whenever you get something, please read it all the way through. Don't be an idiot like me and just walk out and assume that you're free and clear just because somebody told you you're free and clear. So anyway, got that handled and set everything up to go get my DL. I got my my ID last month or a month and a half ago, something like that. And yeah, they clipped it because it's no longer valid. And as you see, my address there is not where I lay my head. So that got surrendered yesterday. And ta-da! Driver's license. But see all that? This is the Texas driver's handbook. I've been studying this because I want to go in and take my written test, because last time I took it I was still at the Cheyenne Center, which is like a halfway house, 3/4 house where people can get out on parole. And, you have all the time in the world to study. So I do this by back of hand. So I wanted to refresh myself because I thought I was going to have to go in and take my written exam again, as well as my driving exam again, because my license officially expired on my birthday this last year. And I can throw this away now. It's trash. So I went in yesterday. I was all stressed out, thinking, okay, I'm gonna go ace this written exam because I studied my ass off for it, and driving test is gonna be the easiest part. I've been doing that forever. And hey, listen, I surrendered it on both sides. It was expired. Walked in. All I did was renew it and pay the fee. And she's like, "Here's your driver's license, sir." I'm like, I didn't even say a word. I was so shocked. And then, she handed me back this after it was clipped. And so I'm official, folks. I'm good to go. So got that out of the way. So there's the TDL surrender update. So when I went back in, I signed my name. I signed my name a specific way. I don't think there's a picture of it here. Nope. But yeah, there you go. That's done. All right. This next segment. I got a lot to cover today. Let me tell you, Thursday's video that's going to be a pre-recorded video. I'll probably shoot it tonight or tomorrow. May do an interview with somebody. I don't know. The reason being is I got a camera gig. Yeah, I'm going to go be a cameraman, camera operator. Absolutely. So let me show you guys something. And I'm going to allude to this segment right here later in the video when I address something else. All right. So I used to be a rigger for Rhino, Texas. And the kid, and I call him a kid because he's half my age, but the guy who ran that, Brandon McPherson, loved the guy. All he was about was learning, educating, training, and safety. That was it. And he did everything. Real go-getter. I really, really, really liked Brandon a lot. I was very sad to see that Tommy Sanchez, who runs the Texas Rhino division, ran Brandon into the ground during the whole, epidemic thing we had, and basically ran him out of Rhino. So Brandon does his own stuff now, and he's hit me up for a few gigs. If y'all remember the Travis Scott incident at Astroworld or at the NRG Stadium, Brandon was probably the lead rigger for that gig. I know he was there. I know he saw everything that happened. I know he was traumatized. He reached out to me. We discussed this. So I told you folks, man, there's just so much that I know, so many experiences that I have in life. How many people do y'all know that I can go interview him right now? He was there on the scene, on the spot. He built everything. Okay. He was in charge of that. So anyway, he hit me up this morning. As you see right there, can you cam operator? Yes. I need a cam op on the 5th, 9 a.m. at the Marriott Marquis. Are you free? Yes, I am. Thanks. What is your rate? Stagehand rates don't come close to my social media. Take care of me and I'm good. Okay. And I'm going to show you how much I'm going to make tomorrow. Bam. Oh, hang on. Went a little too far. All right. Stagehand rates don't come close to my social media. Take care of me and I'm good. Is $450 okay for 9 a.m. to 1500, which is roughly 3 o'clock? It's the time given by the client. Awesome, bro. Yes, send ballroom info and I'll see you Thursday. I'll get any details I can from the client and send them over ASAP. Copy. So I just want you to know, folks, money doesn't make me. Money doesn't break me. Never has, never will. It's never about the money. I'm happy to go see my buddy Brandon again and hang out with Brandon all day and talk to him and catch up because I haven't seen him in over a year, at least probably 2 years. I don't remember. Well, let me go look at the date, see if it's on here. So I know he hit me up for some church stuff. Got a gig at Houston's First Baptist, which I think is in your backyard tomorrow at 1 p.m. I could use a downrigger. Yeah, we went there and did that gig. And that was November 1st, 2022, folks. So, yeah, it's been a minute. Because I've worked in the industry so long, the entertainment industry, that, I know people, I know their children, I work with their children. So I've established relationships with their children. It's really crazy, but that's what I'm all about. It's not about the money for me. Never has, never will be. So I'm not greedy. I share as much as I can. If I have time, Christmas is going to be a bonus for people who really pay attention to the Fearless Floyd show. If I have time. Okay. So got to work that out. Let me address the Brunson Brothers case. Okay. Jesus Christ. I'm just so tired of talking about this case. It's freaking pathetic. All right. This is, I'll even refresh it for you. So there we go. Opinions of the Court 2024. Does anybody see anything on here that says Brunson on it? No. Is there anything on the docket in the United States Supreme Court that says Brunson on it? No. How about Utah? No. How about in the federal courts in Utah? No. Nothing that is open, pending, awaiting adjudication. Doesn't exist. I don't care what anybody says. I don't care. Listen, most of the people that are telling you this bullshit ass info have never personally litigated in any court without having a clown next to them representing them to the court. Get it? Represent. You're a present. You're mentally incompetent. That's what you told the court when you had to go hire this clown to stand next to you and speak for you because you cannot speak. So I've litigated personally in the United States Supreme Court. In so much, I've literally filed documents into the United States Supreme Court that are industrial toilet paper roll wrappers. So if you ever picked up one of those Envision or Scott towels, paper towels, and you got to take the wrapper off the roll, that wrapper, because the law librarian, Robert H. Quato Jr. at the Win Unit would not give me any more paper. Oh, you've reached your limit, Tarvin. Look, bro, I'm in the Supreme Court, Fifth Circuit, U.S. District Court, Houston Division. I'm in Texas Supreme Court, Texas Court of Criminal Appeals, the 1st, 14th Court of Appeals, 351st Judicial Court, and the Harris County Criminal Court Law number 8. And that's just my own litigation, not what I'm doing for other people. Frick yeah, I need all the paper I can get. So, because he wanted to be I don't know. I'll let you create your own adjective. I actually took that paper, turned it over to where I had the white side, and made carbon copies and sent it to the United States Supreme Court. It went through their chemical bath process because unless you filed in the United States Supreme Court, you don't know this because all the paperwork you file into their court and they send back, they run it through a chemical. It changes the paper, changes the texture. Okay, it makes it more brittle. it turns it to a light brown, tan, off yellow color? Absolutely. So I've been there and done that. So when the people that are telling you, and I am a multi-published litigator, that means I'm in the law books, I'm published. Okay. These people over here bumping, oh, Brunson Brothers this, Brunson Brothers that, oh, that's going to come out. They've never litigated themselves in court. They don't know the law. They're living on some pipe dream, some hopium. So take it from somebody who's been in the trenches, drug the dead bodies around, and made it out alive. So you can believe all the bullshit, or you can come right here and get the fucking truth. That's all I can tell you, okay? Because I go by what's in black and white. I don't go into the gray area. I don't care about the gray area. Gray area is speculation. You're guessing. It's either black or white. There's no in between with me. All right. So I addressed the Brunson Brothers case. God, please stop asking. Okay. I see y'all over on Mark's channel, what about the Brunson Brothers case? No. That's dead. End of story. I don't know if y'all caught this over on Mark's show, but let me show you guys how close, okay, we came to complete tyranny. I mean, everything. Guns taken away, all your rights taken away. You're living in an authoritarian corporation, literally, no ifs, ands, buts about it. Okay. So we all know what just happened with the Democratic National Committee blowing through, it's been alleged anywhere from $1 to $2.5 billion on the 2025 presidential election for Kamala Harris and Tim the Walsh. So this was published November 27th, and this is Mark Andreessen, okay? The billionaire investor and co-founder of the influential Silicon Valley venture capital firm Andreessen Horowitz, revealed in a new episode of Joe Rogan's podcast that after an alarming meeting with Biden administration officials earlier this year was the moment he would have no other choice but to support Donald Trump. For decades, Andreessen has supported Democrats, including Bill Clinton, Al Gore, John Kerry, Barack Obama, and Hillary Clinton. However, a troubling spring meeting with Biden administration officials caused major concerns. During the meeting, officials explained their plan to control AI through government regulatory capture, a strategy reminiscent of communist policies in China. And I'm quoting, we had meetings, in parentheses, or in brackets rather, Biden officials, close brackets, this spring that were the most alarming meetings I've ever been in, okay? This is a billionaire who meets with people all over the world every day, talking about all kinds of ventures, joint ventures, investments, theories, ideas, business plans, on and on and on. And this was the most shocking he's had in his life. Okay. Where they were taking us through their plans. And it was basically just full government control, like this sort of thing. There will be a small number of large companies that will be completely regulated and controlled by the government, they told us. They said, don't even start startups. There's just no way that they can succeed. There's no way that we're going to permit that to happen. Close quote. That's how close we came to becoming a full-blown communist, fascist, authoritarian government. Fiscally mismanaged, if not abused or deliberately criminal activity. They can't even manage a what? A presidential election campaign financially. Kamala's $20 million in the hole, and she can't even come up with $20 million to pay it. Jim Carville's talking about a full audit of the whole campaign. Uh-oh. That's what I told y'all. This is our chance to keep the pedal to the metal and do not stop. Do not let these people get traction. Do not let them get a voice again. Do not let them back in any power positions. 2026 is the way to go, folks. So in mid-July, Axios reported that Mark and Ben had donated to President-elect Trump's campaign. At the time, their support was attributed to Trump's pro stance on crypto and AI regulation. It's another telling example of just how far-left Democrats in the White House spook Silicon Valley heavy hitters such as Elon Musk, who also was a Democrat and supported the Democratic candidates and party, even Joe Rogan. So you see what they've done. They went so far left that they pushed part of their base over into the conservative side. They did that. It's not like we went and recruited these folks. They woke up and went, what the fuck are we in? Oh, we're in a satanic cult. That's what we're in. And they decided to get out. So they're out. All right. I want to cover that with you guys. And just, when you start talking to any of these left-wing, liberal, mentally ill people, and they want to can hear you bump, show them this article. This is it right here. That's all you need. All right. So I covered that. Oh yeah. Okay. And I'm just jumping all over the place. There's no real continuity of the show today. But this one, it's always fun when you meet those educated people, the ones that are supposed to be really, really smart, like rocket scientists, right? Isn't that what we always said to ourselves? Well, yeah, a rocket scientist or something. Well, this segment goes out to a NASA engineer. Yes, I'm over in Webster, Texas, who worked at the Johnson Space Center as an engineer. This one's for you, buddy. Scott Woodard, NASA engineer. Calling you out, bro. I'm going to show you what kind of education you really, really have and you continue to espouse as true facts, and they are not. So, and on the 86, that one. Got that one up. All right. Here you go. Let me blow this up for you. Now, I just took this one a little while ago. Of course, you see the sun up here, and then you see this alleged contrail. And then you see this one right here, and the plane is right there in the middle, getting ready to egress from the sky beyond the roof. Then we're going to work backwards. So what I have here is because planes fly over my house all the time from Bush Intercontinental Airport, as well as to land at Bush Intercontinental Airport. This is it's a contrail, according to Scott. But yet, here is a passenger airplane, could be a 767, 757, 747, 737. I have no idea. That's a passenger jet. And you see the contrail coming from it, right? So we're going to continue. There's another shot. There's another shot. And I know he's going to say, well, they're at different elevations. No, they're not that far apart, bro. There's another one, another one, another one. Oh, there's another one. Oh my God, look. They're crisscrossing in the sky. Oh, what is that? Oh, it's another plane not leaving a contrail right next to a contrail, Scott. So I'm going to continue. As you see, there's the plane. They lit us up. They've been lighting us up for the last 3 days. There you go. There's some more. Here's, what's that? I guess that's a plane in the air with a huge contrail behind it. These are the same skies. It's not like I'm, across town or in Dallas, Texas. All these were taken in Northwest Houston. As you see this one right here, that one right there, that one right there. They're not making satanic symbols in the sky, are they? No, they would never do that. No, X does not mark the spot. So as you see right here, there's one, and then here's another one. But I know you're going, but that's the sun behind it, right? No, that's not the sun behind it. What you see right here is refraction. All right, the sun's way over here to my right, on the right of the screen. That is a chemical refraction, folks. That's not water. Why? If it was, you would see it elsewhere. You would see it down here. That's chemicals. Another picture. I was trying to take them outside. We were actually driving when I took that one. Oh, and here's a couple more just crossing up. And if you actually just really watch planes, they all leave the same runway. They take the same flight pattern until they get in their general direction and they start heading that way. So there should be just contrail after contrail after contrail, just like over the same spot. That's not what we're seeing, is it? Another big X in the sky. I hear a plane going over right now. Wow. How come this plane's leaving a contrail and every other plane I photographed has not? Unless this was deliberately leaving something in the air that would not dissipate almost instantaneously after it leaves the jet. There you go, folks. Uh-huh. So I just want to share a few of those for my mutual friend, NASA engineer Scott Woodard. And when I hear these supposedly highly educated people tell me the most idiotic statements in the world, I lose all respect for them. I don't know how other people like to even be around people that are that dumb and ignorant. And just refuse to accept anything else because I'm indoctrinated through NASA, and NASA says that doesn't exist. So I'm going to believe NASA. Yeah. And as you know, I've been in the training facility. I did a Kamala Harris event there. And I've seen everything. Everything that supposedly was on the moon. Nope. Do not fall for the okie doke, folks. All right. And okay. I want to jump into a few videos. And I'll get over to the comment. I'll tell you what, let me go over to the comments right now. I ain't even run the banner. Let me run the banner. Actually, if you saw from the very beginning, here, I'll be right back. All right, Cyber Week. What's Cyber Week? Well, I did a 24-hour flash sale for Black Friday. It was so successful. And because I wasn't able to post on YouTube, which is my biggest audience, I decided to do a Cyber Week. So for 1 week, I'm going to do the cyber sales, did the same sales. I just changed it from that to Cyber Week. So look for this logo on my website. And those are all the deals. Okay. I got Ann's PDF ebook on trust, $99. I got all kind of package deals. Soft cover book, I think's $149, might be $199. I got the ebook, soft cover book, 101 class. I've got the ebook, the 101 irrevocable, and a PMA package. So I've got a bunch of packages in there. What's up, baby girl? So yeah, y'all go check that out. That's extended. It runs to midnight Thursday. So stay tuned for that. Let me get rid of the comments because I haven't seen most of you in a hot minute. So everybody who tuned in, thank you very much. I appreciate you. Everybody who's been supporting me for the past 2 weeks, appreciate you there. For those of you who've reached out to me personally, asked about my well-being, what's going on, thank you very much for that. I really do appreciate people being interested in me and my life, which is odd, but it is what it is. So again, thank you. Thanks for tuning in. Deli Sandwich. Yeah, it's sadly I miss YouTube. It's a better platform than Rumble. Just easier to use, has more amenities with it. Karen Merrill Baxley Dunn. Yeah, I don't know if this is home, but I'm back. Trash Dog, how you doing? Crypto Kenny, yeah, well, you're welcome. Ed, how you doing? Background setting. I'm in my kitchen, and this is the breakfast area, and this is area right here. I guess you could put a buffet in. I used to have a little grow area here. Don't anymore. Bink, how you doing? Rodney, welcome to the show. Yeah, I mentioned something medical that the WHO doesn't like. Elizabeth, aloha from Hawaii, Big Island. Barb Z, yeah, Bear, how you doing? Robert, the piece you did on Wyoming Frank Barris traffic stop was good. Yeah, I don't know if y'all got a chance to see that. I went ahead and posted that for you guys. One of my viewers sent that to me. Okay, so whenever you guys send me stuff, don't think that it just goes by the wayside. If I don't ever bring it up, that means I went and vetted it and didn't turn out to be what it was. But I went and watched Frank's video. I watched it in whole. And so I was interacting with the viewer who sent it to me. And I said, because Frank threatened the Wyoming state trooper and whatever county they were in, that county sheriff, 2 deputies, threatened to have a shootout with them on the side of the road if they were going to pull him out of his car, that they let him go, that they were going to save him for later down the road because they didn't want a gunfight on the side of the road. They didn't want any officers injured. You know, hey, we'll get the guy later. We know who he is. We know where he lives. We know everything about him. Let him go. Okay. And I told her they're gonna get him. And further in my research, I went and looked him up on Pacer, and sure enough, he got popped by the ATF for possession of a felon with a firearm, or felon in possession of a firearm. So go check the video out. Watch it to the end. It's very interesting and educational. Now, is Frank right? Is Frank wrong? There is no right or wrong with what Frank did. The reason being is because it was all handled improperly by Frank. Law enforcement, God bless them, man. They made the wise choice that day. Whoever their supervisor is should be commended for saving the lives of his officers, and possibly Frank Barris. So, side of the road is not the place to debate. It's not a school or a training center. So it's not your job to educate and train LEOs there. You have to go to the police academy, educate them there, or you have to go to their continuing learning education there, or you have to get them in court, put them on the stand under oath, and then do your education and training. Because then you get to show your jury of your peers exactly how they are trained, what they're trained in, and what they actually know. And I'm going to start doing some videos on the Texas Constitution. And I'm going to start breaking down these sections in the Texas Constitution for you guys. And once you read that, you'll be like, oh my God, if you're a Texan, you're basically untouchable by the government. That's what our Constitution basically says. Hands off, the people are in charge. But it's the opposite. Problem is, nobody will hold anybody else accountable. This goes all the way up to the Texas Supreme Court, who, in my opinion, used the Texas Constitution to wipe their ass. I'm sure that when you go into all those justices' private bathrooms, that, yeah, their toilet paper roll is the Texas Constitution. They don't care about it. I've yet to see them uphold anything in it. That's just me, my opinion. Conspiratary, I saw you on Mark earlier posting. I was wondering if you're going to come hang out with me today. So thank you for being here. Really appreciate it. Carolyn Simmons. Yes, it is good to be back. Deborah Gates. Brunson case filed in the Philadelphia Supreme Court. Okay. If you can show me that citing, okay, I'll go look it up after the show. I'm not going to look it up during the show, but here, I'll write it down. I will go do my homework because that's what I do. I think I went and looked, and I couldn't find anything, but I'll go look again. Hey, Buffy, how you doing? Yeah, a cartoon. Yeah, I need a cartoon. The bar, Deborah. Yeah, I get it. Bear. When do I rest? Actually, I've had too much rest because right after I got suspended, I've got a sinus infection and I was down for a week. Basically had a migraine for a week that just would not stop. And I'm still a little bit inky, comes and goes like a roller coaster. But yeah, I've got about half of the trust that will be my contribution into the new book that Ann and I are co-authoring with some new trusts. So I've been working on that as well. So yeah, I do what I can when I can. DJ, how you doing? And they've already, no, that was South Korea, Buffy, not North Korea, as far as I know. And they've already lifted the martial law. So just like that. NASA, not a space agency. Yeah, you're right, Jerry. Welcome to the show. David, we're right near Charlotte Airport, and only those weather manipulation cloud seeding planes leave behind the trails. It's amazing how many people do not notice. People don't care. People are very happy living their little mundane existence. They don't care what they eat, what they drink, what they breathe. They don't care where their food comes from. They don't care about their environment. They don't care about their fellow man. I'll get into this later. I've got a video to show you guys. Yeah, they always put X's. And Wayne Jack, what happened to Christopher Hauser? His subscriber base on Telegram is falling off a cliff in the last month. Did he get in trouble again? I have no idea. I don't follow Chris Hauser. Just go watch my videos on Chris Hauser. When anybody on social media lies to you and you catch them in a lie, they're going to lie to you again. Okay. Maybe once they misspoke, but when you catch them in a deliberate lie, just a bullthing, why did you even lie about that? It takes away all credibility. And I don't have any respect for those people because they continue to move on to the next grift. That's all they're doing. I don't know what Chris is up to now. He was a private banker. Everybody, Chris doesn't charge anybody anything. Well, Chris was charging $250,000 of your credits if he accessed your private account as a private banker. Would you trust somebody who pays somebody else $6,500 to file fraudulent liens against their wife's attorney, their wife, the judge, and a whole bunch of other governmental officials, and then get sent to prison for it? That's the guy you want to listen to? All right. Buffy, no sunlight, vital healing rays. Yeah. Tim Brown. Yeah, they turn them on and off all the time. I mean, you just go sit outside on my porch and watch it all day. Right? Highly educated, highly indoctrined. Hey, Matt C., what's up, brother? Haven't seen you in a hot minute. Right here. What are the chemicals in the trails again? They're also blasting northern Minnesota lately. The sky looks like a damn checkerboard. This is worldwide, folks. Watch some of these commercials that are, you can tell they're shot overseas, like in Europe. Look at the sky in the background. You'll see chemtrails. Movies as well. If you guys watch Pawn Stars, whenever they're doing the intro and outro, you'll see chemtrails in the sky in the background. The three main base ingredients are barium, strontium, and aluminum, and then a host of other toxicities. God, I did all that research. Decade, 15 years ago, maybe a little bit longer. So I don't remember all the chemicals. I just remember those are the three main, but those are bad enough. It's not like we need more, right? Sugar G-Man, haven't seen the sun in 4 days, right? Frank Barris was being an enemy combatant belligerent. Yeah, just that's not the place to conduct business. Because remember, it's nothing personal. It's business. He was trying to make it personal. Hello from the UK. How you doing? Well, Since you brought it up, I was going to save it till last. Since you brought it up. And this is one of the reasons why I showed you guys that I took this job as a cam op. I didn't care about the money. Okay. He could have paid me $25 an hour, 6-hour minimum in, $150. Instead, I said, hey, man, just bless me, bro. I got you. I'll be there. I'll do the job. And he blessed me. So it's never about the money with me. And there's a reason I insulate myself and I keep myself private, and I don't want friends. And, I'm not saying, some of you could eventually become my friend. But when I do allow people in my life, man, they're just so fucking disappointing to me. They don't treat me like I treat them. They disrespect me. They disrespect my home. They disrespect my intellect. They disrespect my respect for them. So it's very difficult for me to go interact with most people because, what are we going to talk about? Because you're going to talk about just some mundane bullshit and, probably I'm not interested in. So it's hard for me to have conversations with people. Then you got to get over, okay, are you right? You left, all that bullshit. Then if it's a woman, hey, are you vaxxed, boosted? Oh, go away. Literally, I've told people, go away. Don't come around me. Go away. But they're very disappointing. I can't go into the details about the whole thing, but let's just say not very much money was involved in this thing, okay? And trying to word this very carefully, okay? I'm walking on a razor's edge here. Because Jeff told me, says, hey, man, I can't come on your show anymore. I said, why? He goes, well, somebody's telling me not to. Okay, well, don't come on. That was the first thing out of my mouth. Don't come on. I'm cool. I'm good. I'm okay. I think the show will make it. I remember when I had 8 subscribers, and I was like, oh my God, 8 people subscribed to me to hear my bullshit? Okay. So, yeah, man, hey, bro, go take care of yourself, man. I don't want to get you in trouble. And I definitely don't want, I'm thinking internally, I don't want to be any part of no fucking blackmail bullshit. So come to find out, they have a prior business relationship that still exists. And they are using that as a wedge to blackmail Jeff not to come on my show. Absolutely. So that's why I said Jeff, more likely than not, will not be back on my show. I'm not going to be a part of that. I'm not going to, I wasn't even going to talk about this anymore. But I wanted to go ahead and just get this out of the way so I can move on with my life, whatever that looks like. I can move on with the show. I don't have to have you come on here and ask me, where's Jeff? How come Jeff's not coming back on? Why is Jeff over here on this other Telegram channel doing his thing? Hey, Jeff's a man. He has free will. He can choose to do whatever he wants to do. And this is what I tell you folks, okay? When you get your whatever it is, your pot of gold at the end of the rainbow, whatever that looks like for you, whether you've invested in foreign currencies, you've invested in crypto, or you've done some other investment, okay? And all of a sudden, overnight, you're like stupidly wealthy. All right. So when you do small deals with people, okay, and they're already French kissing you and stabbing you in the back over just a pittance, a pittance, what are they going to do when the big bucks are involved? Millions, tens of millions, hundreds of millions. You think they're going to stab you in the back? Yeah. I want you to see what that big picture looks like. So no matter how long you've had a relationship with somebody, I've had relationships with people 45 years that I cannot even stand to be in the same room with. They are so disgusting to me. Yeah, back in the day, we used to kick it, hang out, do drugs, chase women, go to concerts. Yeah, best buds. People change over time. People's motivations change. This is what I'm telling you, folks, okay? If you're sitting on a little, let's just say a goose who may potentially lay a golden egg for you, go sit down somewhere and shut the fuck up. And when your goose does lay that golden egg, oh, you better double time go sit down and shut the fuck up. You better not tell anybody anything. If you do, they're going to come take it away from you. They're going to do everything in their power to get what they don't have and you've been blessed with because you made a wise decision on your journey. If they didn't, and you told them about it, they didn't believe you. Your husband, your wife, your mother, your father, your daughter, your son, your aunt, your uncle. You guys know, your coworker, your boss, your employees. They will not only stab you in the back, they will stab you 193 times, drag you into the backyard, bury you in the goldfish pond. You don't believe me? Go look up Jeff Left. Go look up that video I did about Susan and Jeff Wright, about what Susan did to her husband, Jeff, my former roommate twice, and best friend. And to this day, they still don't have an authentic motive as to why she tied her husband to a four-poster bed with his own ties and stabbed him 193 times, then drug him out to the backyard, buried him in a goldfish pond that he was digging for his children, and then cleaned up the whole house and then checked herself into a mental institution. I know the motive. I know the story. I tried to go testify. They weren't hearing it. Besides Susan and me, I don't think anybody else knows the real deal. So I'm warning you. Don't be homeless and desolate and penniless going, man, should have listened to Floyd. Just couldn't keep my mouth shut. I just couldn't stop myself from high-siding and going out and buying a bright blue Rolls Royce Dawn convertible and profiling it in my little hood to show everybody from my past what I've accomplished. Go live your life. Go be happy. Go do your humanitarian shit, whatever that looks like for you. Leave your old life behind. You don't want to carry. Listen, if you're going to go live a life with Louis Vuitton luggage, why do you want to drag, an American Tourister suitcase? Because that's your past. You didn't just like move up a level. You just went to the penthouse. from the ground floor immediately. So you have to live that life. Those people aren't out in front. Unless they are superstar celebrities, they're under the radar. They're living a normal life. It's like Val Kilmer. He bought a big ranch in New Mexico, and that's where he lives his life, on his ranch in New Mexico. He's not out in the Hollywood scene. He's not traveling the world being some big, showboat somebody. So don't get out there, get caught with the fucking bullshit, and don't get blackmailed. Don't allow yourself exposure to get blackmailed for any reason, because it'll happen to you. You're watching it in real time, folks. This is somebody who he thought he could trust. That's what it comes down to. You're going to be, people that you think you can trust and you can't. The only person you can trust is who? You. Have faith in yourself. You're a temple of God. Okay? You're a representation of God. Show that due respect. Be a godlike person and do the right thing. You have the temerity to handle your own affairs. Don't be lazy and let somebody else do it for you, because they will take advantage of you. Done with that one. So there's your answer. All right, Linda. Hi from the Texas Hill Country. Well, girlfriend, I am going to be venturing up there very soon. I may do a little triangle tour. San Antonio, Austin, might stop up in Round Rock, see my girl Kimberly, and then move on up to the DFW area and see my friends up there, and then on back down. All right. Yeah, migraine. Yeah, it was miserable. All right, Darren, you were banned in the USA too. Very good to see me back. Yeah, I was. All right. Robert, Frank Barris did not unregister his automobile. Frank did not trademark and bond Barris. Frank Henry. It's actually 2 R's in Barris. Listen, whenever you guys contact me, y'all call me up on my phone for the first time. I've never met you before, don't know anything about you, and you start going into your story, whatever that is, it's CPS, court, foreclosure, whatever. Eventually, I usually tell you this, okay? I don't know what you know, and I don't know what you don't know. I don't know what you filed, and I don't know what you haven't filed. I don't know what your goals are. More likely than not, you don't even know what your own goals are, because there's so many different processes and places that people want to move and participate and title themselves as as we call it, correct your status and standing. And I tell everybody, listen, go get a piece of paper, start writing down your goals, then prioritize them. Okay. Because listen, if you found a way to pay off your utility bills, okay, your electrical, your water, your internet, gas, propane, whatever that looks like for you. Okay. So now that monthly nut that you got to bust of, let's just say it costs you $2,000 every month to pay all your bills to live. Anything above and beyond that is your savings or gravy money, entertainment money. All right. So if you can knock that down in half by having some process discharge your bills, well, then you don't have to work as much to earn that much money, and you can use that free time to study, to learn more stuff, to do whatever you want to do, whatever that looks like for you. Okay. If you want to write a book, hey, whatever. Then I tell you, after you prioritize them, then create the pathway to achieve that goal. whatever that looks like, whether it's a Facebook page, a Facebook group, a YouTube video, a class, or somebody's class, or whatever it looks like. Okay. You write that down. Then for those gaps that you have there that you don't know the pathway to get there, you reach out to somebody that you know you're going to trust, like myself. And you don't have to listen to me. Go get a second opinion. I will try to assist you in any way I can to get you to so you can reach and achieve those goals. If I don't, I will put you in contact with somebody who maybe can get you to where you want to be. So whenever I see stuff like, Frank Barris and all these other American state nationals, you know, and people can debate me with this all day long. Okay. There's only two titles you're going to get on your U.S. passport. Two. You're either a U.S. national or a U.S. citizen. There is no other terminology. I don't care what the statutes and codes say. Okay. When it comes to a passport card, boom, it says one or the other, nationality, USA, okay, which means I'm a U.S. citizen. If I wasn't, it would say U.S. national. I've only seen one passport book and card in my entire life that has U.S. national that wasn't born in a U.S. territory or in D.C. or on a military base in a foreign territory. So everybody who says, American national, no, only two designations in the United States of America, folks. So I don't know what they've done, and it's really hard for me to comment on any of that. Now they're putting Mr. Gates, methane reducing substance in dairy cattle feed. I'm going to buy herd share local raw milk. Can't trust milk. Yeah, I know. Aldi milk product. It's, I tell everybody, just go into a convenience store, gas station store, and just go try to find a product in there that's not full of chemicals or some filler or dye or artificial or natural flavorings that you have no idea what a natural flavoring is. I mean, excrement is a natural flavoring. Urine is a natural flavoring. Cockroaches are a natural flavoring. So, what's a natural flavoring, right? Yeah, it's getting to where the food supply. That's why I'm so eager to get Ed Group in the Health and Human Services, because then we could possibly have a little voice, if not a big voice. Darren, I like the nerd glasses. Also, this very good lighting today. Yeah, I had to get glasses, so I got two pairs. I got this pair and the brown pair, which I wore the other day. I get these. These have like a light purple tint to it. I wear a lot of purple, so I got it as an accent. These are actually my driving glasses because they're a little bit bigger and allow me to see. All right. Let's see. We already addressed the Jeff Rom issue. Yeah, everybody should do a heavy metal detox. I agree with you, Buffy. Rumbler Cobb just got on when we are RVing. I talked about that at the beginning of the show. Listen, 4 weeks, 28 days, and 2024 is over. Al Sudani has clearly said that it would happen this year. You remember what happened January 1st, 2024? They outlawed the Federal Reserve note US dollar in Iraq. According to Mark, he has reports of the lower denominations in the streets of Iraq. So I haven't been able to confirm that, but it is what it is. So I would believe, everybody's calling the 10th. because of that Iraqi holiday. I don't even know what holiday it is. Me, I didn't do it for a sprint. You know, at the very beginning, everybody kept telling me this 3-day weekend, this Islamic holiday, blah, blah, this, blah, blah, that, you know, and I rode the roller coaster for about the first year and a half. And then I was like, man, this is just stupid. This is like the crypto thing. And I don't want to do that. I already did with crypto. Got pounded in March 2021, like everybody. And I was like, hey, this is a long haul deal. So for me, it's just, it's that goose over there. Okay. I got a couple gooses. Eventually one of them's going to lay a golden egg, if not all of them. That's how I look at it. Long-term investment. If it happens in 2024, awesome. If it happens in 2025, awesome. If it happens in 2026, awesome. You know why? Because it was a low-grade investment for very high yield returns. So that's how I look at it. Dating options are shrinking. Yeah, it's a sad commentary on the culture of America, what we've allowed ourselves to digress to. All right, need to be a PMA for dating. Oh God, funny, not funny. Yeah, it's about, yeah, you almost have to come out with a contract, you know, some Q&As at the very beginning, you know, automatic elimination for certain check boxes. We all know what we're talking about. So yeah, conspiratory. A PMA is a private membership association. Basically, that is a contract. I'm just going to use a quick example because I have a friend who has a barbecue joint. I was actually supposed to go help him today recover his Facebook account, but he had some parent issues that he had to deal with. Basically, if you create a private membership association and you want to open up a speakeasy or a cigar bar or a gambling hall, it's a private membership association. It's not open to the public. It's private. Only your members can come in. So your members would have to, you know, sign an agreement, and boom, they come in. You can serve liquor, serve alcohol, food, et cetera, because it's a private membership association. It's not under any government regulatory statutes, codes, policies, procedures, etc. All right. If you're interested in a class to create your own private membership association, Ann LaFleur did one. It's at my store. It's $79, and it's a freaking bargain because there's probably more information in that video. It's a two-part. There's the presentation video by Ann, and then the second video is the question and answers regarding the presentation. So you probably will never even use all the information in the presentation video that she gave. It's quite extensive. Sorry to hear that about Jeff. Yeah, you know, it's very, very sad. I was, you know, very disappointed. Sucked that, you know, somebody would do that, you know, and then they expect, you know, you to, you know, do these multi-million-dollar deals with them. Run as fast as you can the opposite direction. Take your money and run. Wondering when the RV is happening. Yes, I understand. But just get prepared. You know, if you're not preparing now, you're going to probably get caught behind the 8 ball, and that's not where you want to be. You've unregistered everything for 10 years. I have no problems. The state, county, city do not contact me. Well, that's a good thing. It takes a lot to do that. Most people don't have the temerity to do everything that's required. And most people don't do everything that's required simply because they don't know. And that's the problem, that you leave back doors open or you have a loophole. You know, you think you're, you know, secure in this little box and you're protected, but you know, one side of your barn's wide open, but you think it's closed because you don't know how to close it. And then you get steamrolled. Like, how the hell that happened? That's how it happened. Robert, PMA can be broken. Ministry is the best. I would agree with that. Dr. Ed Group reached out to me about that. About 501 or 508. What's up, baby girl? Yes, I know who Melinda Hines is. Rosie Posey. Talking about Melanie Hines. She has a YouTube channel. She also is like a ninja financial wizard or something. All Melanie is a parrot. She goes and scrapes the intel from, Seeds of Wisdom, Real Raw News, Before It Was News, Judy Byington, Mark Z, Frank 26, Militia Man. And she consolidates all that information and then presents it to you. And, God's telling her the RVs this month. So y'all hang in there with her. Yes, I know exactly who she is. People that want out learn the Holy Trinity, not the Holy Untrinity. Gonna save horses. There you go. That's admirable. That's a smart move. And listen, if you're going to go from low middle class, upper middle class to the elite, the wealthy, okay, you're going to jump from an apartment or a little 2-3 bedroom house into a mansion. If you've never lived in a house, you better prepare to understand and comprehend what it takes to maintain a household, because there's something going on in a house every single day that requires your attention, whether it's dusting, mopping, vacuum, taking out the trash, replacing a light bulb, something breaks, it needs to get fixed. Something always going on, especially with an older house. So if you're going to move up, okay, move to an area where nobody knows you. If you're going to move up into that area, you don't want to take your 72 Pinto and your 1994 Buick Riviera with you to a multi-million-dollar mansion, okay? If you're going to live the part, you have to look the part. You have to blend in with everybody else. You don't want to stick out like a sore thumb. You don't want to look like you came from nothing. Now you have something. Okay. And you definitely don't want to live in an area where nobody has anything and you have everything. Okay. Last thing you want's, Enzo Ferrari sitting in your driveway because you don't even have a garage. Really? All right. She says she has a 3-step plan to help with the RV. Talking about Melanie. I don't know. I don't know how she would help the RV with anything. Because if she was, we would already RV'd. That would already been a done deal. I'll say that. Robert's going to save dogs. Linda will be hiding in the woods, so don't go into the woods. Linda's in there. Hey, while you're there, Linda, will you tell us, does a bear really shit in the woods? Or do they like use the porta can out front in the construction site? Just asking for a friend. Melanie Hines says you have a 3-step plan for $50 to help you not screw up your appointment. Wow. That's a grift. Okay. Because literally, folks, this is what you're going to do. Okay. If I was in Mexico, okay, and I had these things, and I went into Banco Mexico, in Mexico, Cancun, and I said, hey, I need some pesos. What's the exchange rate? 1-to-1? Okay. Is there a fee for the transaction? Tenth of a penny, whatever. Okay. We do our exchange. That's what it looks like. Okay. And because of the different currencies, some are going to be bonds like the Zim bond, and the others are going to be currency. Okay. There's a, oh, you have Zim. Okay. You need to go over there, talk to that table. Well, now you're going over here and then, oh, Zim. Okay. And then you may go talk to somebody else about humanitarian project, and they may give you completely different contact information. Nobody knows for sure. Only thing we know is it's a non-taxable event that you're exchanging currency for currency. And that's what you're going to do. So you don't need to pay anybody to tell you how to do it. Trust me, there's thousands of people like myself, Mark, etc., who will fully explain to you everything that's going to happen before it happens. Somebody's going to go be a guinea pig, and they're going to come out and they're going to tell us if they're not under some NDA. And I don't know why they would be under NDA, maybe for the rate, but not about the machinations of what the actual exchange process looks like. It just doesn't make common sense. Yeah, conspiracy. Or you can listen to Mark Z for free. Go, Mark. Right? Oh, come and go. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, she's always way too excited. Every day she's excited, and believe me, there's days we wake up and like, man, how am I going to pay this bill? Sure wish the RV would happen, right? If I listened to so-and-so last night, they said it was going to happen 2 days ago, and it still hasn't happened. Somebody had a bondholder who was getting paid yesterday. Listen, she's just using people's ignorance and slothiness and naivete to take advantage of them and profit. Rinka Alak. Hello from San Antonio, Texas. I'm a little late, but I'm happy to see you back. Yep. I will be in San Antonio probably before the new year. I have relatives up there that I need to go see. I got some little cousins that are grown up, and I'm sure they're going to be like running around asking me a gazillion questions next time they see me. Annie Marr, hi from the UK. Wow, it just blows me away. I've got an audience in the United Kingdom, in Australia, New Zealand. It's crazy. Let's see what else y'all got here. Rumbler Cobb. How do I get one with U.S. national on it? Well, the one only U.S. national that we know of is Max. If you go to my Telegram room and hit him up and say, hey, Max, I want to know more about your card. We don't know. He used James C. Lovett's passport process. He actually did a walk-in expedited in a Chicago area passport office. And they gave him the U.S. national card and passport book in there. And his passport book says the bearer of this passport, the holder of this passport, is not a U.S. citizen and is a U.S. national. It specifically says that 100%. That's why I'm telling you folks, y'all can go find these labels and these statutes and codes, IRS code or whatever, United States codes. There's only two designations, U.S. citizen, U.S. national. There's nothing in between. Now, if you're a non-resident alien, that's a whole different category, okay? We're talking about people, United States of America. Hey, Catherine. Yeah, here I am. Right here. I'm back. All right. Trying to get through these quickly as possible. David, what is your opinion on the passport name change using the DS-60 form to distance oneself from authorities using joinder with the birth certificate and registered name. That's a little more than I want to get into here. We can save that for another show when I get on that topic. I do have I've changed my name. Actually, when I filled out my form, it says last, first, middle. So mine was, and then suffix. Mine was last, first, which Floyd Pleasant, and then the middle was blank. Hey, Stoked, how you doing? Let's see, leaving tomorrow to Oklahoma. Be back next week. When you're up there, say hello to all my Indian friends, my indigenous. All right, Kenny Edwards, how you doing, brother? Reading cause eye damage, sun gazing heals all your body, glasses damage, DMT. Yep. All right. Trying to get through all these so I can dive into these videos. Hey, Tom, Chicago. Yeah, sun gazing is badass. My dog loves to go sit out in the sun. Even when it's blistering hot, she'll go lay out there in that sun, the sun gaze. So that should tell you everything you need to know. An animal with a fur coat's out there in the sun deliberately when they could be inside in the air conditioning, laying on a big 12-inch cushion. Golden Arrow from Kentucky. Yes. Happy holidays. Grandma 11. Yep, on Melanie, Jerry, right? Sabrina, how you doing? L, yeah. That really sucks, I know, because I like Jeff a lot. I like talking to him. I like picking his brain. And believe me, Jeff and I are on such a higher intellectual level and respect for each other that we can agree to disagree and still carry on the conversation, still be friends, still do what we need to do, communicate. Some people can't do that. He is just, he's set on the Brunson Brothers being a real deal. I don't know why. I just go look at the facts. I was on his call last night, and they excel in treating their admin owners and well-known podcasters as VIPs, while the rest of us who were there, in my opinion, were second class. I believe, I'm not for sure, but I was told that Telegram channel is a Wolverine side channel. I have not vetted that. That's just what I was told. I'm passing on what I was told. Y'all can take that for wherever you want. I told Jeff that. He went on anyway. So, and I don't even know if it's the same show. Like I said, I don't care what Jeff does. Jeff's a free man. Wow, you're in a 100-year-old house. That's crazy. Right? Yep. You can get some big ranches here in Texas. Hey, Barbara. Yeah, just go back and rewatch the video. I explained it at length. Jeff's a gentleman. He's always going to be a gentleman. He's never been on that show, so I'm pretty sure he didn't know what to expect as well. Tommy, talking about Melanie. That's pretty good there, Beanie 777. Melanie I, step 1, putting your money in her pocket, and step 2 and 3, see step 1. That's hilarious. While she drinks her margaritas every day. I didn't know she drank margaritas. Okay, there you go. If I miss saying hello to anybody, I apologize. When exchange at $4, you can get more. Yeah, I have no idea what the rate is. All I will do is just repeat what I've been told. It's not like I have some inside person with the Central Bank of Iraq or in the Al Sudani administration that I speak to on a daily basis or even a yearly basis to get that kind of intel. Margaret, Maggie, where will I be in San Antonio, Texas? They live in Northwest San Antonio. Where I will be, I have no idea. I don't even know if I'm going to go stay with them. I don't even know how long I'm going to go. I haven't even planned it. Yeah, there were a lot of things in flux. I can definitely go to Puerto Rico now. So that's in the plans as well. I don't know if I'm going to do Christmas in Puerto Rico or New Year's in Puerto Rico or a New Year in Puerto Rico, but I'm definitely going back to Puerto Rico. So count on that. I don't know when. You got just stay tuned. I'll let you guys know. Sabrina, you've been looking for Jeff and I. Yeah, I've been looking for Jeff and I. Problem is, where's Waldo? All right, and relay that message. 1 million IQD at $4 is way different than 1 million IQD at say less $19. Does this make sense now? Yeah, it all makes sense. Leona, that's funny. The caterpillar eyes. He was being catty. I don't blame him. Actually, I have there's a little administrative assistant at my dentist, and she wears those big fake camel eyelashes, and real pretty girl. And I've told her that. I said, "You're much too pretty to be wearing fake eyelashes. Stop." And I have one over here at my pharmacist. Same thing. She's actually a trainee, and really pretty girl. I told her the same thing. So, stop. Because when you pull all that stuff off, we're like, oh, that's what you look like. Why are you hiding what you look like, with all this fake stuff? Wayne Jack. I like Floyd, but all these processes from IRS docs to sovereign citizen stuff is all useless. I worked on things for 2 decades and got nothing out of it except headaches and a lot of money spent. And I'll relay to you guys. I told you I had a friend who discharged $4,000. I thought I heard it was for her Chase credit card. It was actually for a hospital bill, and that process worked. And that 4,000 bill went away. I spoke to her yesterday, and it's been over a month. And I asked her, I said, hey, did they put that charge back on your credit card? And she said, no, that was a hospital bill. I said, okay, well, did they, reinstate it or still good? She's like, oh, yeah, they still took it off. But nothing else has worked. And I was like, okay, yeah, that makes sense. I'm going to have Rebecca back on my show. For those of you who don't know, Rebecca Prestwich, she was my first guest on the High Noon Show. I created it. And I spoke to her about 10 days ago. And, same thing, people have gone through all of these machinations and they're either in debt, went to jail, went to prison, had to go to court, got held accountable, got washed out, got shamed, got ridiculed, like Anna von Reitz likes to do. So yeah, it's, and I mentioned this yesterday, I think to Jesse, that most of the processes out there floating around are 100% bullshit, or they're inadequate, or they're just the last breathing entities from the whole sovereign citizenship from the 90s into the early 2000s. I've seen things work. I know a guy who discharged his mortgage. Problem is, he threw so much shit at the wall, he has no idea what worked and cannot repeat it, cannot re-emulate it. So this is what I tell you about any process. I don't care what it is. Okay, what you're trying to do. If you're trying to do some process, get a national card. Proof of concept. Okay, you need to see how this thing works, step by step by step, with no guesses, no speculation. This. Okay. Proof of success. You have to have viable proof that these step-by-step processes or process, this is the fruits of that labor. Then hopefully you can show that the same step-by-step process worked for two different people or for two different things. Let's say I want to pay my electric bill and then I want to discharge my mortgage, and boom, I have tangible proof. Here it is. If you don't see that, proceed with caution. More likely than not, you're just probably spinning your wheels. If somebody's charging you an arm and a leg or an arm, they're probably just ripping you off. Because I know who all the players are. I know who the people who've been, constantly pontificating, much more intelligent and smarter and well knowledgeable and researched than I on some of these specific topics, and they're not there. They're still peddling their wares. They're still over on Telegram or Facebook or whatever social media platform, still bumping and bumping and bumping, and they're not there. Because if they were there, they wouldn't be there. They'd hasta la bye-bye. Go live your life. Go be happily ever after, and don't look back. That's what everybody needs to do when you hit that pot of gold. Walk away. Don't look back. Friends, family, co-workers, walk away. Don't look back. Because once those people find out what you're really all about now, the whole dynamics of the relationship is going to change. All right. Get off the whole Melanie Hines thing. Not change my citizen. Firecracker, how you doing? Well, all you're doing is correcting the status of standing. Most people don't know that under Title 18 USC 911 that if you allege and claim to be a U.S. citizen and you haven't taken a naturalization test and passed, committing a felony. We're all nationals. Thank you, Leona. Yeah, I've been looking for me too. I just couldn't get anything up to YouTube to see. Myrtle Mayhem, how you doing? Yeah, we are talking about Melanie. Blue Sky, how you doing? Wample. All right. Grip, how you doing? Welcome to the show. Even if you do everything right, yeah. This is close to my own analogy of what happens in a courtroom. Okay. It's a 3-ring circus, folks. Okay. Just literally visualize this. It's a 3-ring circus. In one ring, you got the trier of fact, AA, the judge, or the jury. And then you have the opposing party, whatever they are, the plaintiff, the defendant, the respondent, petitioner, whatever. And then you have the other opposing party, which would be you. Okay. And whatever type of litigation you're doing, whether it's criminal, civil, family, it's all commercial under civil rules and procedure. Masquerading is whatever they label it. But what happens in a courtroom setting is everybody puts on the court jester uniform and does their little dance and performs for the court. And they all take turns. And then it's up to the trier of fact to adjudicate the facts and conclude law and give an adjudication a finality. So there's your 3-ring circus, the court jester. That's how that works. There are a lot of Texans here, and Texas is a great state. Sadly, we have a corrupt, fraudulent government here running the state of Texas and the court system, which I could get into, but I'm not going to. But let me go run a couple of these and just show you exactly how corrupt and fraudulent it really is here in Houston, Texas, and if not Texas. So the first video we will do here is we'll talk about this. Get through the commercial.
Why is everyone spiraling over YouTube?
I do not have a paid YouTube subscription.
Fox.
All right.
Good evening. In an Only on Fox report, we told you the state's prison system has no idea where 5 inmates are after releasing them for being gravely ill.
And you won't believe what the Texas Department of Criminal Justice is keeping from us now. Fox 26's Randy Wallace joining us live from downtown with this exclusive report. Randy.
Yeah, Rossi. Now, TDCJ admits they have no idea if the 5 inmates are dead or alive or where they are, but they won't release their names. They're protecting their identities, citing HIPAA laws. The Texas Department of Criminal Justice sometimes releases terminally ill inmates under what's called medically recommended intense supervision.
So ill, close to death, or required some sort of, health.
And to let you guys know, I've actually completed applications for fellow offenders to be released on this type of medical release. That's why I bring this up. So let's listen to the video and I'll address it at the end.
Care, 24-hour, whether it be hospice, assisted living.
The supervision must not be too intense because TDCJ admits it doesn't know the whereabouts of 5 inmates released for medical reasons.
The question is, we know these 5. The bigger question is, how many more are there?
After discovering these 5, we filed an open records request asking for the inmates' names, counties of convictions, and mugshots. TDCJ confirmed the 5 are wanted, but will not release their names, citing HIPAA laws.
Guess what? Game over. Your medical parole is over and done with. You are a wanted fugitive, just like thousands of others who are on parole and have basically gone missing.
Here's all TDCJ would tell us about the medically released inmates who are now wanted. One is a 53-year-old Hispanic male convicted in Bexar County who absconded September 9th, 2022. A 60-year-old black male convicted in Bowie County. He absconded September 30th, 2021. A 46-year-old white male convicted in Johnson County absconded July 19th of last year, and a 43-year-old black male convicted in Harris County who absconded July 5th, 2022.
How are you going to know they're wanted if we don't know who they are and you don't provide a mugshot? This makes no sense.
Now, we can expect some lawmakers to ask more questions about the prison's medically recommended and intense supervision program and how something like this could even happen. Reporting live from downtown, Randy Wallace, Fox 26 News.
All right. Well, guess who just happens to be an expert on the Texas Department of Criminal Justice? Me. And you heard that Fox 26 KRIV here in Houston, Texas, filed a opens records request for TDCJ. TDCJ went and hid behind the HIPAA law. Well, we're not asking, as the public or the media, for their medical records or why or what medical condition they used to get released. We want to know who they are, need their full name, their TDCJ number. We need their mugshot, and we need to know what they went to prison for, whether they are aggravated sexual offenders, they're aggravated robbers, murderers. We have no idea. This is the corruption and fraud in the state of Texas. And where does it all lead to? The buck stops at the CEO's desk. Who is the CEO for the state of Texas? That would be Greg Abbott. Ooh, man, I sure like picking on Greg Abbott. Why? Because he's corrupt. He's fraudulent. And I'll tell him that to his face. He will bend any which way the wind blows. So TDCJ is lying to the public, lying to the media. HIPAA has no bearing on who these offenders are, all 5 of them. TDCJ does not know where they are. That would be the parole division's auspices. And they won't even tell us if there's more than 5. So I can sit here and point to the corruption over and over and over. Well, got another one. Let me go get this one for you. All right. Why they did that, but let me go back over here.
At Texas State Technical College, we understand.
Hang on. I don't know why this did this. Go back to reset all that because that got all wonky. All right. Yeah, sorry about that. Yeah, for those of you who know and don't know, the Houston Police Department under the Sylvester Turner, former mayor's administration, who's now the elected 18th Congressional District of Texas congressperson, replacing Sheila Jackson Lee. They swept 265,000 cases under the rug that were reported to HPD because of lack of manpower. So this is a follow-up. Happened last night. So let's go check this out.
Houston police hope to start 2025 with the controversial SL code scandal behind them.
And we now know that's the code that led to the sidelining of nearly 265,000 incidents reported to HPD. It's also the code 13 Investigates has spent much of the year digging into to learn how and why so many Houstonians never had their complaints initially investigated.
Our Kevin Ozebek joins us live in studio where this all stands right now. Kev.
So Eric and Erica, for 9 months now, HPD investigators have been trying to track down victims whose cases were suspended.
Okay, 9 months, folks. There's roughly about 5,500 Houston police officers on the force. All right. So whip out your calculators and do a little math. 265,000 cases. 9 months. They work 24/7, 365. You're trying to get a hold of people. Obviously, they're not going to be calling from 10 p.m. at night until 6 in the morning. So they're probably only working 14 hours a day, probably 8 to 8, 12 hours. We'll go for that, where they're actually being able to call victims who reported these crimes. When you do the math don't work, folks. Sound like somebody made a cursory phone call, and if they didn't get an answer or didn't get a return call, that's a wrap. We're going to close that case. So we're going to continue.
Because of that lack of personnel code. According to an HPD report, the agency is reviewing, on average, 4,785 suspended incident reports every single week. Now, of course, that is being done on top of responding to the thousands of new crimes being reported as well every single week. As of mid
Seriously.
November, they tell us 94% of all incidents marked with that SL code have now been reviewed. So we are talking about a huge amount of cases being revisited in just 9 months. At this rate, HPD projects all 264,000 incidents will be reviewed by the end of this year. And we can see in the data that the remaining incidents to be reviewed are reports of major assaults, family violence, property crimes, and financial crimes, Eric.
Thousands of suspended cases being reviewed every week. What does HPD even have to show for it?
Well, essentially, not a lot of arrests. The agency says this review so far has led to 178 felony charges and just 87 misdemeanors. So as of now, charges have been filed in less than 0.1% of incidents that were hit with that code. Now, would that have been much higher had these been investigated right away? Essentially, we'll never have the answer to that. Now, we also do want to stress here that HPD will not tell us what are those charges that they have been filed. To find out, we were told today we'll have to file an opens records request, which of course we have now filed.
All right. Let's see here.
Feel confident about weight loss with
Feel confident about weight loss.
Where we now know the Harris County Jail inmate accused of hiding a gun in his wheelchair is a convicted murderer.
Fox 26's Abigail Dye joining us live in the studio with what she dug up. Abigail.
Rashi Anthony, this right here next to me, this is Tyrone Kennedy. HCSO says that detention officers found a loaded handgun inside the seat cushion of his wheelchair while he was in jail. And after digging into court records, we found out a lot more about this suspect's violent history. The press release HCSO put out says that Kennedy's been in jail since October 23rd, when he was arrested on a felony parole violation. On the Harris County District Attorney's website, I found that corresponding motion to revoke parole, a parole that he was on for a 1988 murder. Texas Department of Criminal Justice records show that he was sentenced to 50 years confinement, set to finish that sentence in 2040. We know he's been out on parole since at least 2013 because records show that he violated the parole that year too. It's not clear what he did to violate parole then or now, but Andy Kahn with Crime Stoppers says this means that he's sitting in jail on no bond.
This is a first. It's going to be fascinating to see how he got the gun, where it came from, what he intended on doing with the gun. Based on his history, he doesn't seem to have any issues about killing people. So I don't know what happened, the reasons why he needed a gun, but the fact that he had a gun, his history shows that he has his willingness to use the gun to kill people. And if you have a gun in a county jail, you're up to no good, period. So more than likely, a lot of lives potentially could have been saved today by the jailers that confiscated and found that weapon. So props to them.
Now, HCSO has not said how this suspect got the gun into jail or how long he had it there, but they have said that they launched an internal investigation, so they're surely working.
Yep, you heard that right. He smuggled a loaded firearm into the Harris County Jail in the seat cushion of his wheelchair. Why he has his own personal wheelchair in jail, I have no idea, because they have wheelchairs in jail. Somebody dropped the ball at the booking section for Harris County Sheriff's Department. Yeah. So as you see, the corruption and fraud, these veil of secrecy that the governments continue to throw in our face. Oh, you can't have that information. What do you mean we can't have that information? It's our information. Okay. So let me go. Run this for you guys. All right. I'm going to show you guys something real quick. A little something. All right. This is Texas Legislative Council. This is the Texas Constitution. Constitution of the State of Texas, adopted February 15th, 1876, 50 years after the founding of the state of Texas. The preamble: humbly invoking the blessings of Almighty God, the people of the state of Texas do ordain and establish this Constitution. Who did? The fucking people, not the government. Okay? Not the Houston Police Department, not the Texas Department of Criminal Justice, not the Harris County Sheriff's Office, not Greg Abbott. The people did. We did. Article 1, Bill of Rights, that the general, great, and essential principles of liberty and free government may be recognized and established. We declare, Section 1, freedom and sovereignty of state. Texas is a free and independent state. Okay? This is already when they became a part of the Union. Texas is a free and independent state, subject only to the Constitution of the United States and the maintenance of our free institutions. We know what those are. And the perpetuity of the Union depend upon the preservation of the right of local self-government, unimpaired to all the states. Section 2, inherent political power, Republican form of government, not a democracy, a Republican form of government. All political power is inherent in who? The people, not the government. And all free governments were founded on whose authority? The people's authority. And instituted for whose benefit? The people. The faith of the people of Texas stands pledged to the preservation of a Republican form of government, and subject to this limitation only, they have at all times the inalienable right to alter, reform, or abolish their government in such manner as they may think expedient. Are you seeing a grander picture than what you've been told, what you were taught, what law enforcement actually knows, what judges and justices actually know, what governors and lieutenant governors and attorney generals and secretary of states, what they actually know? Section 2. Oh, I'm sorry. Section 3, equal rights. All freemen, when they form a social compact, have equal rights. And no man or set of men, it can be women too, is entitled to exclusive, separate public emoluments or privileges, but in consideration of public services. 3A, equality under the law. Equality under the law shall not be denied or abridged because of sex, race, color, creed, or national origin. This amendment is self-operative. Number 4, religious test. No religious test shall ever be required as a qualification to any office or public trust in this state, nor shall anyone be excluded from holding office on account of his religious sentiments, provided he or she acknowledge the existence of a supreme being. Witnesses not disqualified by religious beliefs, oaths, and affirmations. No person shall be disqualified to give evidence in any of the courts of this state on account of his or her religious opinions, or for the want of any religious belief. But all oaths and affirmations shall be administered in the mode most binding upon the conscience, and shall be taken subject to the pains and penalties of perjury, and that includes government officials who seem to think that this doesn't pertain to them. This is why I tell you that all Texas government officials wipe their ass with the Texas Constitution. Freedom of worship. All men have a natural and indefeasible right to worship Almighty God according to the dictates of their own consciences. No man shall be compelled to attend, erect, or support any place of worship or maintain any ministry against his consent or her consent. No human authority ought, in any case whatever, to control or interfere with the rights of conscience in matters of religion, and no preference shall be given by law to any religious society or mode of worship, but it shall be the duty of the legislature to pass such laws as may be necessary to protect equally every religious denomination in the peaceable enjoyment of its own mode of public worship. 6A, religious service protections. This state or a political subdivision of the state may not enact, adopt, or issue a statute, order, proclamation, decision, or rule that prohibits or limits religious services, including religious services conducted in churches, congregations, and places of worship in this state by a religious organization established to support and serve the propagation of a sincerely held religious belief. Section 7, appropriations for sectarian purposes. No money shall be appropriated or drawn from the treasury for the benefit of any sect or religious society, theological or religious seminary, nor shall property belonging to the state be appropriated for any such purposes. Section 8, freedom of speech and press liable. Every person shall be at liberty to speak, write, or publish his opinions on any subject, being responsible for the abuse of that privilege. And no law shall ever be passed curtailing the liberty of speech or of the press. And prosecutions for the publication of papers investigating the conduct of officers or men or women in public capacity, or when the matter published is proper for public information, the truth thereof may be given in evidence. And in all indictments for liables, the jury shall have the right to determine the law and the facts under the direction of the court, as in other cases. Searches and seizures. The people shall be secure in their persons, houses, papers, and possessions from all unreasonable seizures or searches, and no warrant to search any place or seize any person or thing shall issue without describing them as near as may be, nor without probable cause supported by an oath or affirmation. There you go, folks. So whenever you are arrested and taken into custody on the side of the road, and there's not a warrant signed by a judge with probable cause, under oath or affirmation, you've been kidnapped with a deadly weapon. Section 10, rights of accused in criminal prosecutions. And listen, folks, I beat the courts up with all this information and they ignore it. They could care less. That's the sad commentary. That's why I tell you, okay, we are the white hats. Nobody's going to come in and save your state, your county, your city, your town, your parish. It's up to us to go in there and fight in their own sandbox with their own toys and prevail and take over what we know to be true, that we are free people, that we are the bosses. We control the purse strings. We make the demands. In all criminal prosecutions, the accused shall have a speedy public trial by an impartial jury, should be trier of fact. He shall have the right to demand the nature and cause of the accusation against him or her, and to have a copy thereof. He or she shall not be compelled to give evidence against himself or herself, and shall have the right of being heard by himself or counsel, or both, and shall be confronted by the witnesses against him or her, and shall have the compulsory process for obtaining witnesses in his or her favor, except that when the witness resides out of the state and the offense charged is a violation of any of the antitrust laws of the state, the defendant and the state shall have the right to produce and have the evidence admitted by deposition under such rules and laws as the legislature may hereinafter provide, and no person shall be held to answer for any criminal offense unless on indictment of a grand jury, except in cases in which the punishment is by fine or imprisonment otherwise than in the penitentiary, in cases of impeachment, and in cases arising out of the Army or Navy or in the militia, when in actual service in time of war or public danger. All right. So what does this say, folks? You cannot be compelled to give evidence against yourself. You shall be confronted by your witnesses. Problem is, there's so much fraud, corruption, and perjury on the stand. Most of this you just can't get. Bail, we can go into that. Denial of bail after multiple felonies. I'm not going to get into all that because I wanted to get down here to, I've cited all these. Section 13, excessive bail or fines, cruel or unusual punishment, open court's remedy by due course of law. Excessive bail shall not be required, nor excessive fines imposed, nor cruel or unusual punishment inflicted. All courts shall be open, and every person for an injury done him in his lands, goods, persons, reputation shall have remedy by due course of law. They could care less about this in Texas. It's all just bullshit to them. Right to trial by jury. The right of trial by jury shall remain inviolate. Legislature shall pass such laws as may be needed to regulate the same and to maintain its purity and efficiency, provided that the legislature may provide for the temporary commitment for observation and or treatment of mentally ill persons who is not charged with a criminal offense for a period of time not to exceed 90 days by order of the county court without the necessity of a trial by jury. I'm not going to get in commitment of persons under all right. Section 16, bills of attainder, ex post facto laws and retroactive laws impairing obligation of contracts. No bill of attainder, ex post facto law, retroactive law, or any law impairing the obligation of contracts shall be made. All right. No person shall ever be imprisoned for a debt. Section 19, which was my favorite, deprivation of life, liberty, property, etc., by due course of law. No citizen of the state shall be deprived of life, liberty, property, privileges, or immunities, or any manner disfranchised, except by the due course of law of the land. So when the cop comes and impounds your car, they're taking your property. Cruel and unusual punishment. Sounds like a debt. So, Section 22, which I've brought this open. As far as I know, I'm the only person in the world who's ever done this. Treason against the state of Texas shall consist only in levying war against it, like the DOJ has done to Texas, trying to sue Texas from establishing buoys in the Rio Grande, erecting razor wire to prevent illegal immigration. So apparently the DOJ has been adhering to its enemies, foreign and domestic, has been giving them aid and comfort. As we all know, New York City contracted with a group in Pakistan to lease the Roosevelt Hotel at $220 million a year to turn it into a immigrant shelter. And no person shall be convicted of treason except on the testimony of two witnesses to the same overt act or on confession in open court. Well, Jesse and I made sworn deposition, an affidavit, treason against the state. Guess what? They all ignored it. They don't give a fuck. Section 23, right to keep and bear arms. Every citizen, it doesn't have any caveat in here that, oh, if you're a convicted felon, every citizen shall have the right to keep and bear arms in the lawful defense of himself or the state. But the legislature shall have the power by law to regulate the wearing of arms with a view to prevent crime. Okay? Doesn't say anything in there about a felon not being able to purchase a firearm. These rights are what? Inalienable. Nobody can penetrate these rights. The problem is the courts and the Texas state government will not enforce these rights that we have. Nobody will stand up and create a stir and acknowledge that, hey, we are in charge, not you. We elected you to represent us, and you're not doing your job. You got to go. Okay? Greg Abbott has got to go, folks. Sorry. He's not the guy. Not at all. Here we go. Perpetuities and monopolies, primogeniture, or entailments. Perpetuities and monopolies are contrary to the genius of a free government and shall never be allowed, nor shall the law of primogeniture or entailments ever be enforced in this state. Well, guess what, folks? We have monopolies. They allow monopolies in this state. That's why I say they wipe their ass with this Texas Constitution. Y'all got a problem with that? Any of you government officials in the state of Texas got a problem with that, or in U.S. Congress? 24/7, 365 invitation, come on the show. We can have a nice, friendly debate, and we can go over the Texas Constitution. We can see what you're going to do about it. And I bet I don't have any takers. Section 27, the right of assembly, petition for redress of grievances. The citizens shall have the right in a peaceable manner to assemble together for their common good and apply to those invested with the powers of government for redress of grievances or other purposes by petition, address, or remonstrance. They ignore pleadings from people. That's why the only entity that I submitted my affidavit of treason against the state of Texas, John Cornyn, and he sent me a boilerplate template reply letter. And that was only after I sent them a 6-month later follow-up letter accusing them of being complicit in the whole illegal immigration conspiracy. Absolutely. Allegedly. Got to throw that out there. Section 28, suspension of laws. No power of suspending laws in this state shall be exercised except by the legislature. Section 29, Bill of Rights accepted from powers of government and invoked. To guard against transgressions of the high powers herein delegated, we, the people, declare that everything in this Bill of Rights is accepted out of the general powers of government and shall forever remain inviolate, and all laws contrary thereto or to the following provisions shall what? Be void. Did you hear that? Let's go to the very beginning of this. What did it say at the very beginning, Floyd? Texas is a free and independent state subject only to the Constitution of the United States, and the maintenance of our free institutions and the perpetuity of the Union depend on the preservation of the right of local self-government, unimpaired to all the states. All political power is inherent in the people, and all free governments are founded on their authority and instituted for their benefit. The faith of the people of Texas stands pledged to the preservation of a Republican form of government, and, subject to this limitation only, they have at all times the inalienable right to alter, reform, or abolish their government in such manner as they may think expedient. And I went over all these. So I think 29's at the end. Rights of crime victims. I expressed this to some people over the last 48 hours about being a victim of crime and funds for the compensation of being a victim of crime. Marriage in the state shall consist of the union of one man and one woman. Right to hunt, fish, and harvest wildlife. Okay? The people have the right to hunt, fish, and harvest wildlife, including the use of traditional methods, subject to the laws or regulations to conserve and manage wildlife and preserve the future of hunting and fishing. B, hunting and fishing are preferred methods of managing and controlling wildlife. This section does not affect any provision of the law relating to trespass, property rights, or eminent domain. This section does not affect the power of the legislature to authorize a municipality to regulate the discharge of a weapon in a populated area in the interest of public safety. So basically, you can hunt, fish, harvest wildlife 24/7, 365, as long as you are within the laws and regulations to conserve and manage wildlife. That's why you can kill feral hogs here in Texas from a helicopter 24/7, 365. Absolutely. Because what are you doing? You're managing wildlife. So that's it. Get into Article 2, but that's a whole nother section. I wanted to break that down for you and show you actually what the real fraud and corruption looks like, what it's really all about, how we just allow this to happen. People carry on with their lives. They don't want to hold anybody accountable. They don't want to contact the people that should be held accountable. And they continue to vote these people in time after time after time, thinking these people are actually doing something for we the people, and they're not. Hi, Pat. How you doing? And due process is a joke. Yeah, it's an entire joke, man. You get in these courts and they don't want to hear shit. Yeah, I know, it's freaking insane. I live here. I know who all the players are. That's what sucks. So there you have it, folks. I'm going to go ahead and wrap this show up and do what I do, get back working on the book and some other things. 2 hours, 2.5 hours, long enough, wouldn't you say? Oh, one other video before I go. Let me go grab that. This is a 5.5 minute video. So I caught this video, I don't know, about 10 days ago, and I was like, oh my God, this guy he captured my sentiments so articulately. And I wanted to share it with you because, sometimes you feel like you're out alone on this island all by yourself, with your own beliefs and feelings and emotions. And when I saw this video, I was like, wow. So it's not just me. Apparently this is a thing. So let me get you over here. Title of this is I'm 51. I avoid people now. Here's why. Give them a thumbs up. As you see, 54,000 likes, almost 1 million views 2 weeks ago. Thank you, my brother. Let's check you out.
Hello, friends. I am out doing one of my typical walks. I recently turned 51, and I try and work out every day. Health is very important. I get to the gym, and I try and go for my walks, do my cardio, watch my weight the best I can. Although I do like to eat, and I am a foodie, but things get more difficult as you get older. More videos to come on that. But anyway, I'm out on my walk. Got to be careful. It's hunting season. I live out in a beautiful but pretty remote area. A lot of hunting going on right now. So hopefully I don't get shot. But I wanted to tell you guys and ask you guys. Turning 50 was a very profound time for me. Probably one of the most profound times in my life. And, you become more aware of time. Man, my game's half over. Every day counts. You look back at your regrets, all kinds of different things. But one of the things about me, and I think a lot of you can relate to me, and I'm looking forward to your feedback on this, is when I was young, I was raised pretty good. I was a really nice, kind-hearted person. I was so naive about so many things. In school, we learn things, but we don't learn things like, finances, how to handle money, red flags of relationships, and personality disorders, getting involved with the wrong people with businesses, making bad business deals. We don't learn any of that. But I've found through time, having been a kind-hearted person, that as time has gone on, and as I've aged, I don't like people the way I used to. I could come up with a whole bunch of different reasons, having the wrong people in my life, making very bad choices with business and relationships, seeing the other side of people. Not that I'm claiming to be perfect in any way, but I've just noticed that in life now, with my clients, with my business, I give my clients 100% of myself. I'm very positive. I try my best to help them. But I noticed that in general with people and socially now, I don't want to do much with people on the social end of things. And now, if somebody comes up to me and they're friendly to me, I naturally have become very suspicious. I'm like, oh, what does this person want? What's going on here? But I notice that just with people, I don't like people the way I used to. And, it's when we went through the pandemic, it was a very trying time, very sad time. We'll keep all the conspiracy theories aside for right now. But one of the things I loved most, well, for the first part of it, I was in a very, very awful relationship with someone who had borderline personality disorder. But when I got out of that and I lived on my own, one of the things I loved most was going into a grocery store 20 minutes at night before close, 20 minutes before close, getting my groceries and just hiding from people. I've become almost a social recluse. I don't trust people. I hate drama. And I don't know, that's how I am. As I said, don't get me wrong. I can be friendly, and I'm very good with my clients on a professional level. I give them the best of me, but I wonder if that's happened to all of you or some of you out there as we age. Have you gotten more jaded, more suspicious of people? A person I used to know 10 years ago and spend time with, he popped up in my feed today on my new Facebook account. I'm not big on social media, which is really weird. It's really weird that I'm not a big fan of people because I'm starting this YouTube channel. but it popped up. It brought back some memories. And on his friends list, it's the same silly people, the same losers, the same people that haven't grown or changed at all. I was like, man, maybe I've changed, but I wanted to ask all of you out there, have you found with age, getting into your 50s, maybe late 40s, is that something that's normal? Do you just kind of try to avoid people and just keep yourself more and more? You're more suspicious of people and you just don't like people as much. Is that normal? What do you guys think? Comment below. So if you can hit like and hit subscribe. I know it's annoying. It's annoying to ask people, and when you're watching, it's annoying to hear that. But if you can, it would mean a lot. All right, but let me know what you think of the video. And if you've experienced this with age too, maybe you've been screwed over by enough people in your lifetime, you're like, oh God, I'm tired of people. But I'm really what you'd call a social recluse. Are you? This is Brian signing off.
As you know, because I am in the entertainment industry, I always allow the credits to roll because credit is deserved and due for those who put on productions. So, yeah, I want to share that video with you guys. How many of you feel that same way? That you've just, you don't like people. You don't like socializing with people. Everybody has a ulterior motive. Imagine when, you have unlimited wealth or wealth to be able to take care of, a whole clique of people. Life's going to change. Cornyn's a joke. He's a former Texas Supreme Court Chief Justice, former Texas Attorney General. Wow. Who else took that same career path? Oh, Greg Abbott. Yes. Yeah, he was the Chief Justice. Oh, he was the Attorney General. Now he's a governor. So don't be surprised if next election cycle for John Cornyn resigns and Greg Abbott goes and chases that position. Because that looks like the trajectory that Abbott would want. He needs another pension. Needs a federal pension to go with those 3 state pensions that he has. Floyd, is the Countryland Ballroom still in operation out there? I have no idea. I've never heard of the Countryland Ballroom. I don't go club it. If it's not a concert venue or they don't have live performances, I probably don't go there. I don't go clubbing. I don't go nightclub. I couldn't even tell you what the hot nightclub in Houston is. When at one point in my life, I would have a no line, no cover VIP, whole 9 yards bullshit. Barium, talking about the trails that we were talking about. Chet, how you doing, brother? People are like a virus. Every now and then you have to close down and recover from them. Yeah, absolutely. Yep. You agree with him. Yeah, I don't blame you. All right, folks. Thank you for being here. Tomorrow is Wednesday, so I will do another show. I have no idea what I'm going to present. I still have some more videos to show you guys. Just hope my inaugural show from my 2-week ban educated you guys, gave you something to think about for a day or two, or maybe even a week, or maybe for your lifetime. All I try to do is educate you, and I'm trying to save you from 3 things: wasting your time, your money, and your energy on fruitless endeavors, whatever that looks like. And remember, go sit down and shut the fuck up. If you're sitting on a goose that may lay a golden egg, I'm telling you, okay? I've experienced this, seen it with my own eyes. You're experiencing it with me, with Jeff Rom. So now you know what it looks like for just a pittance. Imagine when you've got $1 million at stake, just $1 million, which for your nest egg really isn't a whole lot. For some of you, that's going to be it. But for some of you, you're very well invested. Yeah, you're more than welcome. Info on the Zim. In my opinion, every claim out there regarding to what that is going to look like from the time you're notified, from the time that you actually have spendable credits, currency, money. I don't think anybody really knows that. It's a lot of speculation. It's based on what, previous people have said. So I don't know. I'd love to be able to, tell you guys. I don't know anybody who really, really knows that I can substantiate and go, okay, well, who's your source? And they can give me a source. I can go vet it. And I can get two independent people or entities saying the same thing. And I'll close with this. I was going to bring it up earlier, and I did not. Elizabeth Rodriguez Ruiz. She has been sending me a lot of information, some videos. The problem is, not the last video, but the video before, a couple of videos before that. I actually broke it down, took notes. The videos that are being posted out there are being produced by Elizabeth or with Elizabeth's knowledge or potentially her input. She may have a team that does it, or a person. I don't know what that looks like. I haven't even spoken to her well over a month. At one time we talked. But anyway, she sent me the video, had all its information in it about the whole Philippines involvement in the Nasar Jasara. The problem is the information posted in that video, I went and vetted it. I broke it down to what the specific things or entities that were being described in the video. And in the video, it talks about the Global Currency Treaty, where 209 countries agreed in that treaty to go to one-to-one parity. In the video, it states that that Global Currency Treaty was agreed upon in November of 2024. That's inaccurate. Just Google Global Currency Treaty, and you're going to find that it's 209 countries agreed to a one-to-one parity, but it was from 2014, not 2024. There's some other information in that video that I was unable to substantiate the existence of the entity described. So my opinion, again, today is I don't know one way or another. What I can tell you is I see irregularities in the facts. And when I see things like this, it raises a red flag for me. So I see red flags. There's inconsistencies in the information that I can go vet and say, oh, here it is in black and white. These don't. So when I continue to see red flags with people in my investigations and my research, it leads me to believe that this is probably a big red flag to begin with. Now, am I saying that Elizabeth Rodriguez Ruiz is not the person she claims to be? She may believe that she is that person, and I believe she believes that, am I able to want to sit here right now under oath and tell you guys 100% that she is who she claims to be? I cannot do that. I'm still at the point where actually I'm at the point now in the investigation and research where it's creating more red flags to the additional red flags that I have yet been able to pull down from the flagpole and go, okay, there wasn't a red flag there. It just looked like there was a red flag there. But those are still flying full mast, and I'm finding more. She sent me some more videos. I haven't had time to sit down and watch them and vet them, but you know, they're all produced on the same platform on YouTube. They all espouse Elizabeth as the, okay. I don't know if y'all know anything about titles and nobility, royalty, but you cannot be a queen and a princess at the same time. You're a princess and then you get elevated to queen status whenever the queen's gone or the king's gone. You can't be both. So there's a lot of titles being bandied about in her videos, in her statements, in her claims that don't match, don't mesh, should not ever be used in the same sentence together to describe a person. It's like you're not going to call Queen Elizabeth II Princess Elizabeth and Queen Elizabeth. It's not going to happen. That's why there's Princess Margaret and Princess Beatrice and, you know, all these other princesses. They'll never be queen, and they can't be both. There's only one queen. It can be multiple princesses. So this is why I'm trying to explain to you that I'm at kind of at the end of the alley, the dark alley. You know, I'm trying to shine a light on stuff, and I just can't see things. They're not clear. They don't mesh. They don't make sense. Firecracker, yep. That's your opinion. And, you know, my opinion is I don't know yet. You know, she sounds great. Sounds like a very nice, sweet, gentle woman. Seems to mean well. I don't know what her motives are. I don't know her that well. Don't know much about her past, anything. It's, boom, she pops up on the scene. And then I've got these, you know, 50, 60-year-old documents to go vet to prove that she is who she says she is. And it would be great if I could go to California to vet those documents, or go to someplace in California or even Texas, you know, and go look at the archives. But I can't. All these are Filipino, from the Philippines, documents. So it's not like really I can call somebody living, hey, you know, back in 1946, I have a document here. You know, those people are long gone and dead. So that's where I'm at with the whole Elizabeth thing. Whether she is who she says she is, I don't know. Is she Jeff's boss? I have no idea. You know, we talked about this last time. Nobody, as far as Jeff Rahm is concerned, at the Rodriguez estate, know anything about who she is or anything like that. So there you have all the information that I have up to date to today on that issue. So appreciate you. Thank you for watching. Thank you for tuning in. I'll see you tomorrow at high noon Central Time on the High Noon Show. If you want to reach me, the Fearless Floyd Show at yahoo.com. The Fearless Floyd Show.com is my website. I forgot to put the banner up. So y'all see the banner running on the bottom down here? This is all my contact info, specials, stuff like that. I don't have the Cyber Week on here because I wasn't doing YouTube, so I didn't utilize it. But if you want to get involved in the Cyber Week specials, you want Ann's book, the physical book, the PDF, or a combination, or if you want to take some classes, you're really not sure how to function with the revocable living trust, go check out the Cyber Week specials at thefearlessfloydshow.com. Be sure and like the video, subscribe, share, hit that notification bell. Leave a comment below. Tell me what you think about the video. If you have any questions, topics, guests that you want me to have on upcoming. Again, I'm still in kind of a limbo because of my first floor remodeling. I'm at the mercy of the insurance company, the contractor, and all these other people. And I'd like to just move on and go live my life, but I can't. Also, mushroom therapy. For you guys, I'm going to show you my my little thumbnail here. Fearless Floyd Show Pets.com is the website. If you want to email with any questions about the products for your cats, your dogs, or your livestock, they have stuff for horses as well. You can email me at fearlessfloydpets@gmail.com. Kristen or Diana will answer all your questions and help you out very much. If you'd like to become an affiliate, hit them up over there on the email. Tell them Fearless Floyd sent you, and they will get you hooked up. If you have your own social media platform and you'd like to promote a more healthier lifestyle for yourself, your family, your friends, coworkers, pets, and livestock, there you go. Also, I'm going to show you another banner. So you guys be sure it's in the description below. Dr. Edward Group, my friend for over 35 years, go nominate him to be part of Robert F. Kennedy Jr.'s U.S. Department of Health and Human Services. Hopefully we can get a voice, get our food cleaned up, all of that stuff. And this will be my last thumbnail to show you guys. Go look for this thumbnail at fearlessfloydshow.com for my cyber. Thank you, everyone, for being here. I'll see you tomorrow. Grateful for all of you. Have a great week.